DK Metcalf from the Seattle Seahawks, and you're watching NordCam.
Bobby Wagner goes to the freaking Rams. You know, I shouldn't be surprised. I shouldn't even really be upset at this because I knew it was a possibility. I know that Bobby Wagner is from LA, so it kind of makes sense. I know he had been talking to the Ravens, and I had this crazy idea that maybe the Seahawks could pull the surprise thing where they bring him back. But get this, the Rams are giving him $50 million for a 5-year deal, up to $65 million. First of all, where are the Rams getting all this money? I mean, they just extended Matthew Stafford, not as high as like Aaron Rodgers money, but he goes, and gets, we have a phone call coming here, but I'm sorry, I cannot answer it. And he goes and gets, an extension well over $40 million a year. I mean, do they even have a salary cap? The salary cap not apply to Los Angeles? I just don't get it. Man. And when Russell Wilson was signed to was traded to the Broncos, I knew that Bobby was next. I don't like the way it happened, this whole thing about how he wasn't told in person and he was pissed off about that, and I get it. I'd be upset too if I was him. But why would he, first of all, why did that even happen? And then, secondly, man, I would have been okay with the Ravens. But now we got to face him twice a year on a team that's already got this freaking amazing defense. And now we got to deal with him in an already Super Bowl defending team. It's crazy, man. It's just crazy. Broncos Stampedes. Wagner going to sack Drew Lock 100 times. Not if he gets the ball out fast. So I guess things must have really gone south with Bobby Wagner when it came to that whole the way that he was not happy with the way he was informed. But, jeez Louise, man. I just don't get how they're able to afford all this money. Obviously, the LA is going all in on trying to repeat. And we'll see how Bobby does. Bobby still, I think he always 5 years though, man. They must really love him. 5 years. I didn't even think Bobby would last 5 years left in Seattle. I thought he had maybe two good years, but I don't know. Who knows I will see the terms of this deal, exactly what the guaranteed money. It's always about the guaranteed money. Worth up to $65 million. So obviously there must be incentives and all that kind of stuff. But essentially 5 year, $50 million. That's averages out to $10 million a year. It's just crazy. Now I'm going to be bringing on Roundtable fellas, Steezy and Squabo. They're planning to join here shortly to get their take on it. But I did put the link. I put the link here in. I'm streaming in multiple streaming platforms here, in both YouTube and on Facebook and Twitter as well. So if you want to jump in here, I might bring in you if you guys have some comments or reactions, just to get a quick a feel on this. But man, it's just what a crazy season this is going to be. Not only are we going to be seeing Wilson with the Welcome Home Denver tour when he comes into town, but now we got to face Bobby twice a year in LA and then at home. I don't know if you guys saw the story or the news. I follow Greg Bell. He's a Seahawks insider, G Bell Seattle on Twitter, and he posted the Vegas odds on the Seahawks record this year. You want to guess how many wins Vegas, at least the sports book down at Caesars is giving the Seahawks? Guess how many wins they're expecting? Any guesses? I'll let you put it in here. How many wins do you think Vegas thinks the Seahawks will have this year? I'll wait. Put in a number. Just type it in the comments. I want to see how many of you guys actually see that. 3, says Sarah. Young Steez, 6, 4, Seahawks Nation, 3, Christopher Disney Adventure Vlogs, being very optimistic at 10, 4, 3. So, all right, you guys have got, you're in the ballpark there. Ben Braun, 12-3. Yeah, right. 12-3. That doesn't even add up right. We're like missing 2 games, dude. We'd be like 12-5. No, Vegas has us winning 6 games this year, 1 less than last year. I guess they figure if we won 7 with Russell last year, well, we'll probably lose less. We'll win less than that. So we'll be 6-11. The only teams worse than us that are predicting will be the Jets and the Falcons at 5.5 wins. I guess that's the over-under. And the Texans at like 3.5 or 4 or something like that. So they're predicting us to have like the 4th worst record in the NFL. I sure hope we can prove that those suckers wrong, but doggone it. It's going to be a tough season, y'alls. What are we going to do at quarterback? What are we going to do with the draft? What are we going to do with the free agency? What are we going to do at left tackle? Middle linebacker, is it going to be Jordan Brooks? Is it going to be Cody Barton? I just know it ain't Bobby Wagner. That's for sure. Holy crap. That's nuts. But, man, it's all just happening all at once, right? Bobby Wagner, Russell, they were the 2 last players from the Super Bowl period for us. Both leave the team pretty much within a day of each other. And now both go to teams that one that's coming here, not in our division, but he's coming here this year. And then Bobby twice a year. And the guy can still ball, man. This is not looking good for sure. I need some hope. I need someone to bring us some hope in here. So if you guys want to jump on in here and give me some of your reactions on what you think about this season, about this signing of Bobby Wagner going to the Rams. Be my guest here. Let's see. So I got Tyler Parcher, the loyal follower of the NorbCam channel, which I appreciate. He says he's got something to say here. So let me bring him in real quick. Tyler on his walk out there. Let's see what he's got.
I'm going to
Tyler Parcher, what's going on?
Not much. I'm going to the April 15th. I'm going to the home opener.
I heard that. Yeah, Mariners, man. On the flip side, while we're picked to be 4th worst team in the NFL, we've got the Mariners. Apparently, Fox MLB on Fox is picking the Mariners to be the AFC West champs this year.
Nice.
Which is cool, but I just want to understand is how come the Seahawks and Mariners can never be good at the same time? There must be some kind of universal sports rule that says the Mariners either are kicking butt and the Seahawks have to suck, or the Seahawks have to win and the Mariners have to suck. But we can't be good together. We can suck at the same time, but we can never be good together. Why is that? Why is that, Tyler Parcher?
I don't know. But I'm riding the bus down, so you don't have to try.
It's a little hard to hear you, man. I don't know if it's your headphones, but you're a little bit tough to hear. So, but that's okay. That's all right. But thanks for being on here, man. I'm glad you'll be going to the opener. That'll be one good thing of this upcoming sports year. Holy mackerel! Justin Michael Hart says, "Y'all need to stop crying over it. That man gave us everything, and the front office threw him outside without the courtesy of saying thank you, as much less saying he was gone. Personally, I hope the best for Bobby." Look, I'm not upset at Bobby. I get why he would do it. And who wouldn't take that deal, right? If someone said, hey, $50 million, maybe $65 million over 5 years, would you take it? Of course you'd take it, right? I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy that we're going to have to face our old buddy, middle linebacker, twice a year. But that doesn't mean I hate the guy. Addison, are we going to suck next season, Norb? That is the big question. Are we going to suck next year? Right now, according to Vegas, we are. We're going to be 6-11. I wonder who those 6 wins are going to come against. Sure, they don't have us winning much against our NFC West. And it's a business. Happy for them, but not happy we have to see them twice. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. I'll be at those games watching and having to see these things happen right in front of my face. I'll tell you, it's going to be a testing year. Our fan base is going to be very tested this upcoming season. We got Campbell CRK. He's ready to jump in with an opinion on this. Let's see what he's got. Campbell, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's up?
What's up? What was your reaction to this news?
It's a fair decision. I was watching on the NFL YouTube breaking news of which I heard he was from LA, so I think he's excited to go to LA. But I gotta say if he wants to go to the Los Angeles Rams and play with the champions, I could accept that because my dad always understands when he sees free agency players that's been for playoff teams, he will trust that they'll go to playoff teams. That's one Super Bowl, but I think it's a fair choice. But Von Miller's going to Buffalo, and I think it's going to be in his position while he's in Buffalo. But we'll just have to see where Matthew Stafford's going to do with Sean McVay and how the defense coordinator is going to teach how he can do it this year. And right now maybe there could be back-to-back champions this year. So who knows?
Oh, God. And wouldn't that be crazy? In a perfectly horrible scenario, a Super Bowl matchup would be the Denver Broncos against the Los Angeles Rams. That would just be that would be enough to make me vomit, I think, if that matchup happened. Oh, my God, are you kidding me? But I got to ask you a question, man. Why do you have a Denver Broncos banner? What is going on with that? You got a Seahawks shirt on, a Seattle Kraken banner, and then you got a Denver Broncos banner. What is that, dude? Explain yourself.
Okay.
Explain yourself. You're a member of my channel, and I love that for you, man. But what? Explain.
Okay. The reason I became a Seahawks fan because of I love Russell Wilson. I'm sorry.
Come on. You're on trial here.
Okay, well, the reason I became a Seahawks fan and found you was Russell Wilson, so that's why I got this stuff.
Wait, when did you buy that? When did you get that Denver Broncos banner back there?
Like 2 weeks or something.
Whose team are you a fan of, really?
I'm still Seattle.
Are you You're a Seahawks fan?
Yeah.
And you're a Broncos fan?
I'm just supporting Russell.
Well, why don't you just have a Russell Wilson picture back there? Why do you have to have a Broncos banner back there? I'm sorry, man. I don't get it. I don't get it, man.
I go to the Denver Broncos.
I like Bobby Wagner, right? Ain't no way I'm buying no Rams jersey Rams poster to put in my wall to say, I support Bobby Wagner, so go Rams. Oh, man, that ain't happening. That ain't happening, man.
That feels like the A's Broncos fan needs to come on this server right now or something.
Yeah, well, we'll see if you can hop on. But, all right, man. Whatever, dude. You support whoever you got to support, man. But
yeah, I'm a supporter. Who knows?
Blue and green and orange and blue do not mix. Do not mix, brother. All right. I appreciate you being on here and supporting my channel, though, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for hopping on.
All right.
All right. Stick around. Stick around if you want.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Broncos, Seahawks fan. I know some other people who are Broncos and Seahawks fans. So when you're watching the Super Bowl, who are you rooting for? You're like rooting for every team at the same time. I don't get it. It's like, hey, we got a first down. Oh, it's intercepted. Yeah, we got an interception. All right, my teams are both winning and losing at the same time. Woohoo! Anthony D had a super chat. He sent me a $2 one to remind me about his $5 super chat. He says, "Hey, buddy, I wish I could join, but need to recover from a 12 stomach bug I had. Oh, being sick is no fun. I felt like crap. Oh, man. Sorry to hear that, man. I'm sorry to hear that. Hope you feel better, man. I do. Shoot. That's no bueno. No bueno. Oh, man. It's just crazy. And again, I'm stalling time because I'm waiting for Steezy and Squabba to join in here. They're coming off of some other stuff to hopefully hop on the stream. Let's see. We do have Bradley Brady fan. Again, why is everybody calling in? People who are fans of other teams, seriously. Alina Dahl, though, she's a diehard Seahawks fan. She said, if anyone was alive in the 80s, there's no way you would support the Broncos and the Hawks. Along with the Raiders. Go Hawks. Now, the only reason I would support the Raiders this year is because, well, I need the Broncos to lose. So now I'm rooting for the Chargers and the Raiders, except when we play them, of course. So I need every team to beat the Broncos in 2022. And it's not so much of a personal issue, vendetta against Russell Wilson or anything like that. It's more of just we got their number one their first round draft pick. So the worse they do, the better our draft status becomes in 2023. That's really what it comes down to. All right, I'm going to let Bradley Brady fan come in here. He's a Patriots fan. God, I feel like I'm betraying my own allegiances here, but I'm gonna bring him on briefly, see what he has to say. Bradley Brady fan, what are you doing here?
Hi.
What do you want?
I was kind of like him when Brady left. I was still a Patriots fan. I was supporting Tom. That's when I liked the Buccaneers. I still was a Patriots fan, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so, what do you think about? Do you even have an opinion about Bobby Wagner going to the LA Rams here?
I thought it was going to be I think it's going to be a trio between Donald, Ramsey, and Wagner now.
Oh, they're going to be tough.
Yeah, they are.
They're going to be tough for sure. And I don't know how they can afford to keep paying these guys. They have a special salary cap of their own. I don't know. They need to do an IRS investigation on their salary cap situations here.
I felt so sorry for you guys when you lost Russell. And I knew how you guys felt.
Yeah. Yep. As a Patriots fan losing Tom Brady, I can see that. I can see that. But yeah, well, we'll see how the Patriots do this year. Of course, Brady coming back after he retired for like 10 minutes. Yeah. But we'll see. I appreciate you being on here, man. Thanks for your support all the time, man. Appreciate it. All right. Feel free to jump in. I did put the StreamYard link if you want to jump in here. I'll post it again in the comments. So, right now as it stands, we have no left tackle. We have desperate need of pass rushers. We've got Chris Carson, who we don't even know if he can run with his off-season neck surgery. Rashad Penny, we had a great last month of the season. Been injured most of the rest of the time. That's our running game, which is going to be like the heart and soul of this team. We don't know who the heck is going to be a quarterback. For all we know, it might be Drew Lock. It could be, maybe they'll make a move for Baker Mayfield. It's not going to be Kaepernick. We could draft Willis at 9 just to try to spice things up, but crazy. We got Daniel in here. Daniel's going to jump on. I don't know if Daniel's ready. Looks like Daniel's ready. Let's just bring Daniel on here. Daniel, what's going on? Where are you from, man?
I am from Alaska.
Alaska! That's where Seattle used to be located. At least that's what the media thought about it when it was Seattle was a city somewhere in southeast Alaska. But you really are in Alaska, man. So what did you think about this Bobby Wagner going to the Rams? The hated Rams.
I was really hoping it was going to go to the Ravens, but or the Rams, but I'm happy he got paid and everything. It just sucks to see him be a rival team now.
Yeah. I don't know. And I don't know. Are you upset at the Seahawks for letting him go? Are you upset at him for picking the Rams? Or are you just upset because this is a good time to be upset? How do you feel about that? And real quick, Alina Dahl with the super chat says, breaking news, it's 2035 and Brady has returned for retirement for the 15th time. The Bucs are that bad. and their coach just resigned. Bruce Arians resigned yesterday, by the way, too. So now they get the head coach of the once on the Jets. Todd Bowles now becomes the head coach, who he didn't exactly have his most successful stint in while he was with the New York Jets. So interesting to see what will happen there. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, who are you even mad at anybody about this, or is it just like this just sucks?
I mean, I'm not mad at Bobby Wagner for signing with the Rams because, it's his choice. He got a lot of money. I mean, I don't even think he has 5 years left in him, to be honest. But
I don't think so either.
But I don't even know how the Rams have all this cap space, but it's whatever. But
I don't think so either. What do you think about this prediction that the Seahawks are going to get 6 wins at best? Do you agree with that, or do you think they've got things way, way off?
I think I'm actually more on the optimistic side. I think they're going to get 8 or 9 wins.
I like the optimistic side. We're going to have a almost losing season. I mean, almost winning season. We'll just be one win shy of a winning season, and we'll be one game better than last year and still have a losing season. That's sad when the optimistic. See, and this is how far this pendulum is swung. We've gone from perennial playoff team to now, optimistically, we'll be one game below 500. If that's optimistic, I'd hate to hear the pessimistic side. Holy crap.
No, I don't think we're going to be like a 4 or 5 team win this year. I don't know. Do you think we're going to draft a quarterback or offensive line or something else? What do you think?
Look, as much as we all want to fix the problem, and that's why I think everyone's so enamored with the idea of Malik Willis being drafted in here, coming in with that big arm, throwing 75-yard bombs in the shorts and the tank top with no defensive pressure or anything like that, to come in here and suddenly be like Russell Wilson Part 2. That's all fine and dandy to think about, but really it's kind of like just taking, let's just get the best we can and hopefully that all works out. But really, we should build up the positions that we really need. Like, we need a left tackle of the future. Even if we get Dwayne Brown in here for like another year, that's about all that's left, and we'll still be with a big hole at left tackle. We need to get the left tackle of the future in here that we know we can count on for like the next 5, 6, 7 years, that sort of thing, And we've got other positions in need too. We need more pass rushers. We really could use a stud at cornerback as well, since we didn't get DJ Reed back here, and I'm still not sure about running back either. Not that we would spend a big draft pick on him, but we got to solidify the trenches for sure. And left tackle is like the most important line of the center, and we don't have one yet. So I don't know what they're doing over there. Maybe they've got a plan, but
So definitely you definitely believe in like building the team up before getting a good quarterback then.
Yeah, well, you got to have a line so we can run behind it, and we need someone to protect that quarterback, or that quarterback's going to be not standing for very long. So I don't think they should pull the trigger and go nuts on something. Not this year, because I'm with you, man. Sadly, I do think that 8 wins would be kind of on the good side. If we can get over 500, I would be happy with that. I think thinking about playoffs and all that. Playoffs is a little bit crazy. Sadly, but you never know. But we gotta solidify the trenches for sure. So, all right, man, stick around, man. It's great to have you on here. I'm gonna jump with some other guys who are waiting around, but stick around. We might keep this conversation going. Let me bring in Ben. Is it Braun or Bran? Ben,
what up?
What's up?
Where
you calling? Where you at? Where you calling from? Or watching from?
Louisiana.
Louisiana. Whoa, we got Seahawks fans down in Louisiana.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right, you just heard the breaking news of Bobby Wagner. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I was kind of sad because he's my favorite player, but I'm not gonna watch the Rams game every time. And I still said, Russell Wilson got traded. I'm sad on that.
Oh yeah, I know.
But
mixed emotions, man.
Yeah, I saw like on the comment, like it said, what wins is going to be like this year. That's why I put 12-3. Nigga, we're signing 3 elites. Like you saw on the free agency, we signed an edge rusher from the LA Chargers.
Yeah.
And we brought back Quinton Jefferson back. And he's going to team up with Shelby Harris. Like that's.
We also got Coleman.
Noah Fant and Drew Lock.
Is it Coleman? Yeah, Coleman. The nickel corner. We brought him back from like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So we're bringing some familiar names back, but these aren't really like head-turning moves. They're good depth moves, but yeah. Did you say 12-3? Did I hear you correctly?
Yeah, 12 wins, 3 losses. Nigga.
But wait. But there's 17 games in the season. So do you mean 12 wins, 5 losses? Is that what you're meaning?
Yeah, because I pressed the wrong button.
Let's make sure my math is correct. 12-5. Okay, 12-5. Wow.
Because I watched
12-5 might be enough to win the division, you know.
Yeah. Because I watched those 3 players of their highlights back at the other teams. Like, I like Drew Logan's passing form because he throws it like a dagger, just like Russ can. And I saw the other guy from the LA Chargers we signed from. Like, he's almost at the like Bobby, like Michael Bennett. Almost at the like. And we got that new coach. So, yeah.
Yeah, I know. We're saying goodbye to a lot of sure things, and we're saying, hello, please do something for us because the promise of you looks pretty good. So I'm with you, man. They're making some moves, but I don't know. This one just personally hurts, obviously, to see 2 of our heroes have been on here for such a long time going to teams that we despise. Anyway, well, stick around, man. I gotta bring in members of the Roundtable in here. I'm excited to, of course, the one and only DJ. Well, he's not even GJ. He's just Squabo. He's Squabo, and he's here. Squabo says, "What's up, bro?"
Norv, man. Thank you so much for having me. How are you?
I don't know, man. This has been it's been a hard off season, and we're only into March still. I mean, we're barely into April, and this has been already an exhausting off season. First Russell, then we lose Bobby, and there's always that little piece of me thinking, well, maybe they could work something out. And then no, he has to go sign with like the worst possible team we could ever want him to go to. I mean, I would have fine if we went to the Ravens. Like, go have fun over there with AFC East. But no, he has to come back to our neck of the woods, man. Just crazy. Oh, look who's out here with us, too. I'm going to bring in Daniel Dovin jumping in with this, man. So, all right, Steezy will be joining us as well, too. So, I got to get your initial reactions. Give me the quick, 30-second reaction on this. Noah, you were here first, Squabo. Start with you, man.
My first reaction. I
said Squabo. Daniel, you were second, so I got to go Noah first. So
go ahead.
Hey, man, we can't. No worries. There's not going to be any Will Smith action out here. We're all friends. Hey, just about this whole thing. My initial reaction: Pete Carroll has too much power, and it frustrates me how old-fashioned he is, not giving players the modern era of respect in terms of pay, in terms of compensation, in terms of communication that they deserve. And I'm frustrated with the organization of Seattle with how we've dealt with departing star players that were quintessential to our best team ever.
Can't argue with that. Daniel, it is your turn. What's your 30-second hot take reaction to this?
Yeah, my reaction is I'm really not surprised that he went to LA because Bobby's favorite team is the Los Angeles Lakers. He's an LA guy. He loves Hollywood. But I am surprised at what he was able to negotiate. Now, it's up to $65 million, but we don't know how many years are guaranteed, how much money is guaranteed. And that's the part that I was just talking to my friend Mike about. Like, we were wondering, what is that all about? So other than that, I'm surprised at the length of the contract. Do I really think he's going to play through age 36 well? I would be surprised if he had $20 million guaranteed, so essentially like a 2-year deal. That wouldn't surprise me. And I'm also like, where are the Rams getting all this freaking money from? I know the payroll keeps going up every year with the salary cap, but I'm like, how do you guys fit all these guys? You're going to have Cooper Kupp coming up, right? Big extension. You have Aaron Donald. right? You just signed your QB to an extension. You have Ramsey. You have all these guys. Like, how are they doing this? I know Von Miller just went to the Bills, but I'm just surprised. And you know what? I just saw a graphic. I think it was ESPN posted on Instagram. Bobby looks ugly in that jersey. That yellow and blue, so gross. And
I'm not sure who looks uglier. I'm not sure Russell in orange and blue or Bobby in the yellow and blue.
Nasty.
Yeah, no, they all look ugly. They look ugly. As soon as they take off the Seahawks uniform, they all turn ugly in my eyes.
Yeah, and you know what? Tyler Lockett just got his real estate license, right? So
I saw that.
Red and black and white with Keller Williams. Everyone's changing teams, man. So anyway,
I saw that. I was puzzled, man. You're a real estate agent, obviously. I was looking at it going, wait, why does Tyler Lockett need to be freelancing as a real estate agent when he's got this job making tons of money? I was like, wait a minute, shouldn't this be like after your career's done?
It's $17 million a year, man. It's only $17 million. That's all he's making as a Seahawk. That's it.
So you got to make ends meet, man. And $17 million just doesn't cut it these days, man. I mean, gas prices are going up. Yeah, you got to freelance. You got to get that. You got to get that side hustle going on, man. Because Seahawks salary just ain't cutting it. But yeah, more power to you. You're getting to start on your later profession after football. But all I know is Tyler Lockett better be here beyond the next couple of years, because if Tyler goes, and there's this whole thing about DK. Is he going to even be here? And for me, I told you guys last time when the whole Wilson thing went down, I don't trust anything those guys say, especially this time of year. And they've been using those words like, we intend to sign DK Metcalf. They'll probably say like, it's our plan to bring DK. Is DK Metcalf going to be here next year? And the foreseeable future, Squabo says.
I really don't think so. And I think if
really?
we have to get rid of DK or Tyler Lockett, I want to get rid of DK first. The reason is because I want us to have a sure-handed receiver. DK's talking about stepping up and be a leader. I think in the next 2 years he's going to be gone. And I think he's going to ask for too much money, especially with how the salary cap is blowing up. I don't want to pay him more than 22. I don't. DK Metcalf, he has not earned that to me. To get more than $20 million a year, and more than 22 specifically, you need to be reliable. You need to be the go-to guy on third down, and you need to not be the reason that we lost our home playoff game against the Rams 2 years ago. So I don't want to pay him that much. I don't want us to overpay him, and I think he'll be gone.
You know what sucks about that is someone is going to overpay him, because someone who probably has been watching DK as closely as we have and know all the issues that have been plaguing him from being great. He's been good, but he hasn't been great yet. But someone's going to pay him a lot of money to be great. And I still feel like he will be great. He could be great here, but they're going to have to pay an advance premium on him to keep him here. And yet somehow the Rams keep forking out dough like it's going out of style. Daniel, is he gone? Tell me this can't be.
Not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I will bet another stake on
Here we go. Here we go. I knew the bets would come flying. Okay, say again now. We got to make sure it gets clear.
To whoever wants it, that he's going to sign at least a 4-year, $80 million
That's
deal.
cheap,
Guaranteed.
man.
Do you want to?
That's cheap.
I bet you with the Seahawks.
I'm not saying he's not going to sign that deal. I'm saying he's not going to finish it.
I'm not arguing about that. I don't have a crystal ball 3 years down the line, but I'm talking about for the foreseeable future, next 2 years. He's here, man. He's here. We invested a lot into him as far as, the draft pick and the energy. He is part of our core. It's him, it's Jordan Brooks, and that's about it. But that's our core that we have moving forward. If we let go of DK right now, that's when the whole thing's getting blown up. Tyler and DK, if they're gone, you might as well trade everyone. You might as well just have 100 draft picks and no real players.
Well, and in the wake, in my initial morning after Russell was traded, I thought DK and Tyler were going to be like next. If they start basically talking about those guys not coming back, I was sure we were going to rebuild mode. But then of course Bobby happened. But I thought, they brought Quandre Diggs back. Well, that doesn't make sense for a move if you're really going to blow up and rebuild this team. So how do you not? You got to keep one of those two, because if you don't keep at least one or both, but I'm with you. Tyler Lockett is the better receiver. Don't let the speed and the 8-pack abs fool you. Tyler Lockett is hand over fist the better receiver of the two, but DK Metcalf may have the higher upside long term if he can get his you-know-what together. But, all right, we got to – well, we don't have Squabble here yet, but when he does jump on here, we got to get this bet settled right now while we're on the DK subject. So let me understand, Daniel. What you're saying is you're betting a stake – we have a lot of stakes we got to keep tally up – a stake if it's at least $20 million a year and it's with the Seahawks. It's not conditional like one or the other.
4 years. I'm saying at least 4 years, $80 million. At least 4 years, $80 million. And I'm not saying guaranteed or not. I'm just saying that's the number. He will get that with the Seahawks. It's just a matter of
he's getting $20 million from somebody. Will it be with the Seahawks?
I'm saying from the Seahawks. I'm saying from the Seahawks. So if he gets traded, I lose, right?
Just to clarify. No. Okay. So you're misinterpreting what I'm saying.
Wait, since we're on stake bets, I got to bring Steezy in here. Steezy's on remote, man. He's on breaking news remote on the phone feed right here. Steezy, welcome back, man.
Hey, how are you guys doing, man? It's been too long.
Hey, doing great, man. It's great to have the band back together again. Steezy, I don't know if we're just catching up. We were talking about Bobby, of course, but then we pivoted to DK, and of course, Daniel had to open his big mouth and start talking about stake bets again. So now, Squabble thinks DK's gone. You guys have probably talked about this before too, but we're talking about it here. Daniel says he's going to be here. It's going to be 4 years, $20 million at least, but with the Seahawks. Steezy, what's your take on DK Metcalf? I'll get your Bobby Wagner take as well, but we're on the subject of this bet and DK. Is he going to be a Seahawk after this year?
Yeah, I was actually tuned in on YouTube, so I got to hear Squab, I got to hear Daniel, and of course, Norb, I got to hear you. I got to say DK's staying. You know, I understand, Norb, your frustrations with John and Pete. You can't trust what they're saying. They're talking about us in our plans. We're planning on keeping him. Our intent is to keep him. And we all know what happened the last time they said that about Russell Wilson. He got traded, sent out the door. So you can't really take their word for it. But I just feel like with DK, you got to have some foundational pieces around. I mean, we let go of Russ. We let go of Bobby. We let go of DJ Reed. I just feel like that would send a terrible message to the fan base. We're already devoid of star power as is. He's 24 years old. And I understand you don't want to pay receivers $20+ million just because there's an abundance of them, especially in the draft. But this would be a terrible move for the fan base, for the franchise. It's a bad look. We have no star power. And right now, we're only paying two guys over $10 million a year. There's only two guys with a cap hit north of $10 million, Poona Ford and Tyler Lockett. So who else are we paying? And let's say we bring in our future franchise quarterback, whether that's a rookie this year or next year. They're going to be on a rookie contract. And so who else are we paying? We're not paying anyone. And DK could be that guy that attracts other stars to Seattle. He's 24, Squab, he make valid points. He hasn't been the most reliable. I understand that. But we've seen him in the highest of highs. 1,300 yards, the franchise record, second team All-Pro, only 24 years old, drawing comparisons to Calvin Johnson. He's going to be the guy that brings in other stars. And once we do have our franchise quarterback, doesn't that franchise quarterback need weapons to throw to? And with Tyler Lockett, if I'm going to trade any of these receivers, it's going to be Tyler Lockett. But the only reason why we can't do that this year is because he just signed an extension. The dead money is going to be huge. We're already paying dead money to Russell Wilson, Carlos Dunlap, amongst a horde of other players. And so we can't keep adding dead money onto our books. I don't think any of these guys go this year. But I think if we're going to trade any of them in the near future, it's going to be Tyler Lockett and not DK.
Can we keep them both? Is it not possible to keep both of them?
No.
Norb, remember last time you said we're going to keep both of them? And you were like,
that was different. That was Russell and Pete Carroll. That's different. No,
it's the same, man. It's the same. Tyler Lockett got his real estate license, which means, he's looking at alternate plans as well. No, I think the odds are that we do keep both, but I think that'll be the most telling thing about what we're doing this season, right? If we keep both, it sends somewhat of a message that we're going to be here to compete. But if you get rid of one of those guys or both, it's very obvious that it's not about now. People say, "Oh, Tyler Lockett's not a great fit for this system. That's not actually true. He can fit in any system. You can play him inside or out. Like, you can find a way to use Tyler Lockett. And I think it would say a lot to extend a guy and then let him go this early. And we typically do not do that. We do a lot of other weird stuff, but we don't do that. There's no history of that. So,
I don't even know why there's even a discussion about how we make it fit. He has been the best receiver, hands down, on this team for the last 4 seasons. And so I don't see how we even...
I've just heard that on different channels this offseason. I'm like, I think people are just grasping for straws at this point as far as knowing what's going on. I think that, you know, he could fit in any system. I think that's clear to us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So it looks to me, now I'm torn here because, see, I'm getting that Russell Wilson PTSD, right? So I don't want DK to leave, but there's a part that's scared he's going to leave. And I felt this way about Russ because I was like, no, he's staying. Back of mind, he might go. Sign say 4 teams he would go to, traded to, not asking for a trade. And then the worst happens. So now I feel like I'm burnt. So now I feel like whatever I want is going to be what doesn't happen. And I want DK to stay. But I feel like I'm going with my heart again and not my brain.
In gambling, we call that being on tilt. When you start losing and then you think everything, you're all or nothing now. It's called being on tilt, and that's what you are right now. You're losing.
So right now,
walk away from the table. You got to walk away.
I can't walk away from this table, man. I'm a season ticket holder. I'm stuck at the table. So we got Steezy saying he's going to stay. Daniel says he's going to stay. I'm leaning towards he's going to stay, and Squabble's the only one saying he's going to leave.
So, see, look, y'all got to give me a chance to talk about what I'm saying here because y'all have taken my phrases way out of context. What I'm saying is, in the next 3 years, one of these receivers is going to be gone. I think it'll be sooner than later. But within the next 3 years, we're not keeping 2 guys. DK Metcalf, we're talking about making $25+ million a year, potentially, right? I argue he's not even our most valuable receiver. Norb argues the same thing. So that means we have 2 receivers worth greater than $25 million per year. We're not going to pay 2 receivers that kind of money, especially without a quarterback. What my argument is that if it were me, I would move off DK Metcalf because that is, in my opinion, the smarter thing to do is to keep the sure-handed receiver who's not going to demand as much money for looking really good without a shirt on. Right?
Hold
Whereas
on, Squabble.
DK,
Can I
hold on.
No.
No, you can't because let me finish my point. So I say it's more likely that if Seattle's smart, we move off of DK Metcalf. Nope. The problem is we have not been smart at all. And we say we're not rebuilding and we're going against it. So it tells me that it's not about what's best for the organization. It's about stubbornness in the locker room between Pete Carroll and the players. And it's about him getting his way rather than what's best for the franchise. And that's why I disagree with the Pete Carroll thing.
Okay, can I rebuttal
Keep
that
DK's name out of your freaking mouth.
Noah, listen, man.
But the potential of DK.
You're missing one very important key factor, which is DK still under his rookie deal. So we could also, if we don't get an extension done, we could let him play out his rookie contract, and then you could franchise tag him twice. Oh, God. You could franchise.
You want to franchise him with the way that the salaries are going right now? You're going to be paying more money if you just signed him to a contract.
No, but Norb, check this out. If you do an extension, sometimes the extension is after the current contract, and sometimes they actually take the last year of it and include that. So it really depends. And what salary caps, what the Seahawks are going to look at is year to year. What is the average? So right now, I don't know what he's going to make this year as a rookie, but it's probably less than $2 or $3 million.
It's like $3 million. I think it's like $3 million something.
So like if you add on to let's say 4 more years at $80 million, what is 43 divided by 5? It's not astronomical numbers in comparison to like other top receivers that are making 22 to 27 now, right? So it depends on how you structure it, and so the Seahawks do have leverage in that way that he can't just hold out and say, well, you know what, I'm not going to play and I'm not going to sign anything. It's like it's not advantageous for players to do that. with the way that the CBA is set up and the way the NFL discourages it, and the Seahawks record for how they deal with players holding out. Something's either going to get done before the season, or I think he's going to play it out and they're going to franchise tag him. Like, those are the two options. I don't think it makes any sense to trade him while he's on his rookie deal to another team at this point. Why would you trade one of your best players when he's making like $3 million a year? Doesn't make any sense.
I don't think you trade him.
Who's more important, DK or Tyler? Can we talk about that? Like,
so you don't have
right
to
now
make that decision. You don't have to make that decision because DK's making $3 million and he's coming off a foot injury. You're not going to trade him.
You're
I mean,
talking
it's true.
about
You
an
don't
$80
have to.
million extension.
You don't have to decide today or this year because you're right. We have DK for another year, and we've got Tyler for what? Is it 2 more?
4-year extension.
Is it 4 more? Is it four from now?
Yeah, because last year was the last year of his past deal, and then so the 4-year extension begins this year.
All right, so Tyler's locked in for the foreseeable future.
But he's also 29 years old, and so Squab,
Right.
I wanted to ask you. So if you don't want to pay DK that much money, who are we saving that money for? Who else do we got to pay?
Building an offensive line to build around our quarterback. For the tight end, we just traded Russell Wilson for. For the defensive lineman, we just traded Russell Wilson for. For these top draft picks that we now have replacing Russell Wilson, we got a lot of first-round picks now, and they're going to demand a lot of money right out of college because they're first-round picks. We have a top 10 pick. That's up. That could be in the teens to $20 million in their rookie year potentially, especially if we get a quarterback. So depending on who we get, we have to pay them. We don't have tackles right now. Tackles are a premium position, like you're always talking about, and they're very expensive. And so if we're going to get those, that's going to cost us some money. How are we going to keep paying all of these different weapons? We're trying to get a deal with Rashad Penny. We have a tight end that we just traded for. Are we going to get rid of Noah Fant after we just traded Russell Wilson for him? I don't think so. So the fact that we already have, we have this problem, and I'm Noah, so I should know about this. Getting things in pairs of twos. So the fact that we have 2 safeties under contract right now, that's questionable. Why do we have 2 max deal safeties? He loves that position. Pete Carroll doesn't love the position of wide receiver. It's not as important to him as the position of safety. We've known that. It's never been. And so now we're paying 2 safeties top dollar. I don't think that's going to stay. If you talk about what the impact that these receivers have had, DK Metcalf lost us a wild card game at home versus the Rams by throwing a tantrum and demanding the ball. Yes, Russell Wilson threw it, but DK caused that whole problem and scenario. And then you look back a couple years before, what about that Vikings game? When Doug Baldwin had the nice one-handed catch, but Tyler Lockett had that extending play where he connected with Russell Wilson after he fumbled the snap. Tyler Lockett helps us win games we're supposed to lose. DK Metcalf has lost games we were supposed to win.
Although, Squabo, you mentioned the Vikings. Remember that game in 2020 when we had to make a stand defensively and then we had one final drive to win the game? And who was the hero in that game? DK Metcalf all over that one. So he hasn't done nothing. He hasn't not done nothing. Is that what? Yeah, he hasn't not done nothing. He's done something, and it's the upside. But the quarterback thing, and now make sure you guys, sub to these guys' channels. Steezy, I liked your take on, why we should not get Baker Mayfield. I don't know how people feel about the Baker Mayfield thing. I don't know what people, the free agency options are starting to thin out, right? Baker Mayfield's kind of like the last man standing. I'm not a big fan of that move, which means we have really no, and it sounds like the Kaepernick thing, unless they're talking out the other side of their mouth, Kaepernick thing isn't going to happen, which is not really that realistic, I don't think, anyway. So really, we're either rolling with Locke, or they're going to surprise us with drafting at number 9, right? Or something later in this year's draft. So is there any other option, realistically, for the Seahawks at quarterback besides that, Steezy? Since you had a very well argument about the anti-Baker Mayfield.
Sorry, I just want to backtrack just a little bit, and I will touch on that.
Yeah.
Like I was saying earlier, though, bro. Okay, I understand. Let's say we take a quarterback or an offensive lineman. Let's say an Evan Neal or Charles Cross falls to us at 9, and we also have another first-round pick next year, courtesy of Denver. These guys are going to be on 4 or 5 year deals. So when we look at Tyreek Hill's extension with the Dolphins, yes, 4 years, $120 million looks astronomical. $30 million a year, $72.2 million guaranteed, the most ever for a wide receiver. But when you look at the way that it's structured, 3 years and $72 million is guaranteed. So after 3 years, nothing is guaranteed. And so with DK Metcalf's contract, we could have it so that, okay, we bring in a couple of rookies, either on the offensive line or at quarterback. We're paying those guys for 4 or 5 years. And if you're a first rounder, you have a 5th-year option. And so if we structure DK's contract just like Miami structured Tyreek's, then he's really only getting the majority of that money within the first 3 years. And so with guys on a 5-year rookie contract, we don't have to worry about paying them for 5 years. And so we structure DK's contract, and so that it aligns with whenever those guys need an extension, we're not paying them any more guaranteed money. And so when you look at how it's also going to affect the fan base, we're not going to be able to sell tickets. Who's going to want to come to see our games with no stars in place? Like the cupboard is already bare, and rookies, these guys at the end of the day it's still a crapshoot, right? The draft is a crapshoot. Where else are we going to find a 6'4" physical freak at wide receiver who wins a 4.3 40? Like, I understand the drops and the issues and whatnot, but he's only 24 years old. There's still room to grow. He's already looking like he's going to slowly start to become a leader. And so we're paying for future production, especially if this team is actually rebuilding or retooling. Why keep a Tyler Lockett? He's 29 years old. He can help us win games now, but if the objective isn't to win games now, what's the point of holding on to him past 30? And so that's kind of where I stand on that. You're probably going to respond back, but I do want to address Norb's question. It was about the quarterback room, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Well, you were very clearly anti Baker Mayfield. So where do we go?
But I'm for Baker if Cleveland is willing to attach draft capital, because no team is looking like they're willing to take on Baker's $20 million a year contract. And so if Cleveland is willing to attach a 3rd or a 4th or a 5th, then I'll take him. But also I'd want for him to agree not to sign off on an extension, because he is in the last year of his deal. And so if he's intent on signing an extension upon wherever he's traded, I don't want any part of that. But if he agrees to not push for an extension upon being traded, and if Cleveland is willing to give him capital, then I'll go that way. If not, I'm willing to roll out with Drew Lock, Geno Smith, and hopefully either a Matt Corral, Malik Willis, maybe a Kenny Pickett, whoever falls to us in the draft. But with Baker Mayfield, I just feel like he would kind of cap our team's ceiling. We've seen his best already. He's going to be 27 years old. We know that he's not a long-term franchise quarterback, so I'd stay away from that.
All right. So, what are your guys' feel, unless you want to address any other points he has, but who is, we talked about this before, and that was right after the Wilson thing, but a lot of things have clarified since then. A lot of guys are off the table. So let's go. Squabo says, who is going to be under center in 2022?
Okay, quick backtrack. I don't understand, Steezy, you said we're paying DK off of future, like what he's going to do in the future production. How do we pay him for future production in a run-first offense with no quarterback? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Money-wise, I just don't get why we would do that. Now, in terms of quarterback, I don't think it would be a good idea at all for us to force a draft pick, take a quarterback at the 9th overall pick. I think if we're going with a first-round guy, it's because we get extreme value by trading back and finding a Malik Willis. In the most recent mock drafts, I've seen Kenny Pickett and Malik Willis both going before our pick at 9. So that's to the Carolina Panthers and to the Atlanta Falcons. So I really, please, let us not take a quarterback in the first round, especially if those two are off the board. I've been on record. There is a guy that I really like in this draft. It's not a guy that anyone is talking about. It's Carson Strong out of Nevada. He has a really big arm, which Seattle loves. He comes in and he's going to have to earn his spot on the roster, that whole competition style, which Pete Carroll loves as well. And everyone's been talking about how it's going to be a competition in the locker room between quarterbacks. If we take someone 9th overall, there's some pressure to start him. If we take someone on late day 2, early day 3, like a Carson Strong who has a really good arm, there's questions because he just had surgery. But his mobility isn't the craziest. We're going away from the whole Russell Wilson thing, but he's really good at staying in the pocket and going through his progression. He also has one heck of an arm for hitting guys deep down the field. So if we're going to move off Russell Wilson, we're going to need some pizzazz, some deep arm. It's obvious that we love that. It's what we liked about Drew Lock. It's what we liked about Josh Allen. I say we go with a deep arm guy, Carson Strong. Later in the draft, we use those top draft picks for a tackle.
Okay, I can't argue with that. I want to acknowledge Patrick's super chat. He says, what will it take for free agents to come to Seattle? It's just not a top destination anymore. Wow, we've fallen off that quickly? It's only been like 3 weeks. But all right, so Daniel, I want to give you a chance to respond to this quarterback discussion. The group is thinning out. Who's it going to be?
Yeah, I know it's hard to believe everything that Seahawks leadership says, but I
don't believe anything they say anymore.
Yeah, but I actually do think they want to give Drew Lock a chance, and I think that the way that they structure their draft board, I think it depends on who's available at number 9, right? Like if all their top QBs are gone, they might look at a cornerback. If everyone's gone there, they might look at a tackle and vice versa. So it'll really depend. If none of those guys that they like, that they value as a top 10 guys, they're number 9, they'll probably trade down and get 2 or 3 picks, right? That's kind of how they do it. They're not going to predetermine what they're going to get best player, best value at the best position at the time. So with that kind of mindset right now, I'd bet on Drew Lock. And, Jacob Eason is not a legit backup. You have Geno Smith, maybe. I really don't think that right now there's no leverage for the Browns to get anything good from the Seahawks. So if we are going to experiment with Baker, that would be after the draft if we don't pick up anybody. And I'll just say this to Squabo because, I'm mad at Squabo today. Basically, no quarterback with the first name Carson is ever going to be good in the NFL. So
can't argue with that logic. You got me there.
I only speak facts.
Man, I hope Carson Wentz isn't ruining it for everyone named Carson. I mean, if we do come across a Carson Strong, I'd hope for a different career story.
Yeah,
Carson Palmer was pretty good.
Carson Wentz is actually a Super Bowl winning quarterback, so give him that.
Technically, yeah.
Technically, yeah. Yeah, a guy who won without being there, and they made a statue of the other guy.
Isn't Tavares Jackson also technically by the same logic?
I think so. Yeah.
Yes.
Putting that out there.
That's a stretch of the resume right there. But yes, technically he got a ring from that. So okay, so what it sounds like what you're saying is that it's probably Drew Lock, but Squabo's kind of thinking that they might pull somebody later on with the first name Carson with the later round pick because these guys are going to fall, but the ones that everyone's talking about won't be available when it's our turn. So it's going to have to be a later round guy. But Drew Lock probably by default is going to be it. Are we kind of all getting ready for the Drew Lock show? Is that kind of pretty much what we were telling everybody?
I mean, if you
it's a
look
lock.
At the guy, he looks like a younger, higher upside Jared Goff, and that's kind of the Rams offense. When I think of them, I think of Jared Goff, and that's maybe he's a Shane Waldron kind of guy. Maybe he looks at him like that's my ideal, tall quarterback. But to me, it's a very far cry from a lot of the athletic QBs coming out. It's a far cry from what we had with Russell, and so it's just hard to believe when I look at Drew Lock. I see kind of like a skinny aw shucks kind of guy. I don't really know that it makes us competitive this year. So does it excite me? Not really, but it feels like a system quarterback, and that might be the stopgap until we figure it out, because there is no obvious choice right now that is available via free agency or trade. So like I said, I think it'll depend on who's available at number 9. Otherwise, I would not be surprised if Squabo is right and we wait until the later rounds. I mean, that's where we found Russell. We found him in the 3rd round. So, but I do think number 9 is a great opportunity to actually get a blue chip prospect, right? Whether it's a cornerstone as your left tackle or a legit starting cornerback that you haven't had since Richard Sherman, locked down one side of the field, or you have another legit pass rusher, but you need a blue chip player to add to the core that we have. I'm not a huge fan of, continuing to just get okay draft picks. Like, we need to start hitting on them, and that's how you build a championship team, is you need these draft picks to hit, because that's the whole point of losing, right? Is to get a higher draft pick. You don't just lose and then lose some more. So that's my hope, is that we actually use the pick, and same thing with next year too. I want us to use our 1st and 2nd round draft picks. That would actually be exciting. I want to get excited for our prospects. I don't want to be like, oh yeah, we got these 4 guys I've never heard of and they might make the team. No, right. I need some alpha dogs in the locker room to, get this new culture going. So,
well, we are drafting higher than we have. Yes. I hope so. And we are drafting higher than we've drafted. This is like the highest draft we've had position-wise since like 2010. Wasn't that the last time we've been in like the top 10?
With Aaron Curry? Oh, no,
Yeah.
Russell Okung.
No, Russell Okung and Earl Thomas. We got those guys at I mean, almost back-to-back practically. But that's 12 years ago, the last time we've been this high. So hopefully don't mess this up because it's almost scary when you have too much of a good thing right in your hands. But, yeah.
I just wanted to say...
real quick. I got to read Squabble's comment. This is pretty damn funny. If you want to get excited about Drew Lock, don't watch any of his press conferences. Well, I'm fine because I'm not watching any freaking press conferences anymore. They're dead to me. Press conferences are dead to me now, so I'm not going to even pay attention to them. But, Steezy, what you got?
So I just wanted to say with Drew Lock, this isn't me vouching for him or anything like that. I just feel like with Drew Lock, he's a 6'4". He looks the part. He has a massive arm, a rocket for an arm, and he's sneakily mobile. I mean, his last year at Missouri, he had 6 rushing touchdowns, and I've seen him. Yeah, he throws picks when he's rolling out to the right or to the left, but I've also seen him with a couple of sneaky athletic plays. And so I don't think Jared Goff is the right player comp for him. I actually think that he compares more to a younger Josh Allen. He's that guy with a rocket of an arm. He's sneakily athletic. He's mobile. And so I think he can do things both inside and outside the pocket. I know he can be erratic. I know he's a turnover machine. I know he's not very accurate, but he is also 24 years old. And in his first full season as a starter for the Broncos, he didn't have his best receiver. Courtland Sutton missed the entire year due to a torn ACL. And so I know a lot of people are looking at his time in Denver and they're looking at it as a failure. I'm not going to disagree with that, but he also didn't have too much to work with because his offensive coordinator, after his 4-1 start in his rookie year, got fired after that year. And so going into his first full season as a starter, no Courtland Sutton, no training camp, didn't have a coaching staff that believed in him. And so there's still kind of an unknown factor when it comes to Drew Lock. And he still has age and youth on his side as well. So I feel like there's still a little bit of upside, a little bit of potential. And those are for the people who are optimistic. I'm not saying, again, I'm not vouching for Drew Lock, but I'm just saying there's a little bit of an unknown. And sometimes, it's cool to kind of dive into that unknown because you don't know what you're going to get.
Well said, man. I mean, I think we're starting to do a little bit of convince ourselves that what we have is good. When you got nothing, you're like, I know I've got this old Honda 2008 Civic, but this thing actually's got pretty good acceleration.
Hold on. This is more like you have a 2019 under a cover and you don't know what it is, but it's only 3 years old. Okay,
that's true.
It's more like that, and it's like you heard the muffler a little bit one time, so you think it might have some potential, but that's about it. Other than that, we did just ship out, a little short bus, Russell Wilson. So anyway.
What also gives me hope here too is that Jared Goff, as terrible as he apparently seems to be, he did bring the Rams to the Super Bowl and kind of stunk it up in that game, but they made it to the Super Bowl with Jared Goff at quarterback. So maybe in the right system, if Jared Goff can do it, maybe there's hope that Drew Lock can do it. You know what I mean? Maybe you don't have to have. I was looking back in the history of all the Super Bowls. How many teams that won the Super Bowl did it with franchise quarterbacks? Now, I didn't see a lot of evidence to make me feel good about the situation, to be honest with you. But the few ones that we saw would be Jared Goff. He didn't win, but Jared Goff got him to the Super Bowl. He's not a franchise quarterback. And, of course, we just talked about the Eagles, where Carson Wentz kind of helped get him there, but it was really
Brad
Nick
Johnson,
Foles,
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay, there's that too. You're going like way a couple decades back, but in the way back machine. But Nick Foles, right? I mean, he was the guy who won that Super Bowl, and he was gone. They made a statue of him, and then he was out of there. But you can't call him. He's not a franchise quarterback, right? So they won the Super Bowl with a non-franchise quarterback who barely floats around from one team to the next. So maybe with the right system, that Drew Lock could be something. You know what I mean? So
if you drink enough beers and you say Drew Lock slowly, it kind of sounds like Jared Goff. So maybe that's what Shane Waldron did. He's like, you know what?
How you know that? How you know that?
It sounds like it's coming from experience. Okay, so now the numbers came out from Vegas. I said this earlier. You might have heard me talk about it, but I think the sportsbook at Caesars gave the outlook on the Seahawks, saying they're expecting Seattle to get 6 wins next year. Only teams worse than them would be the Falcons, the Jets at I think 5.5, and the Texans at like 3 or 4 or something like that. What is your feeling on that prediction? Over, under, or at 6? What will the Seahawks win record be next year? I know we have nothing to go off of. We don't even know where our quarterback is, so we're completely going off of nothing. But does Vegas have this right, or are we going to surprise people?
We're going to surprise people at 7-10. Remember, we have 17 games now, so
oh yeah,
I think 7-10 with what we have right now, with the information we have, that's reasonable.
All right, 7-10. Steezy, what do you think?
I'd have to agree. I think I'm not willing to bet on this just yet, but I'm a little more optimistic, and I think 7 wins is definitely attainable. You look at the state of the NFC, it's terrible. Outside of the Rams, Bucks, I mean, who else is really out there? Cowboys are frauds, Packers are frauds, Cardinals are frauds. NFC South, outside of the Buccaneers, none of those teams are very good. And so I think we're going to be one of those teams that are real feisty. We're going to be one of those teams that no one wants to play. We're going to be one of those teams that kind of overachieves. And we're going to be one of those teams that, we win a couple of games in which we have no business winning. I mean, I love to bring this example up, but look at the Miami Dolphins from a couple of years ago, 2019. They go 5-11. And that team was completely bereft of talent. That team was supposed to be the worst football team in all of NFL history. And they ended up winning 5 games. I know they had a Ryan Fitzpatrick. We don't have anyone like that. But if there's anybody that could kind of offer that same sort of volatility at the quarterback position, I think Drew Lock, when he's at his very best, he could potentially be that for us. Because like I said, he does have a rocket of an arm. And so if harnessed properly, if in the right system, if surrounded by the right playmakers, the right coaching staff, maybe there's a chance that he can kind of go back to what he was doing in the SEC in Missouri. But then again, that's highly unlikely. I just think that we're going to be one of those teams that no one wants to play. And ultimately, we overachieved to the tune of 7 with the maximum capacity of 8 games.
Okay, so a high of 8, so exceeding Vegas's expectations. How about you, Squavo? Says,
yeah, that's
it's a confident start to your answer.
No, y'all are insane if you think we're winning 8 games this year as of how we're currently constructed. Do you know who we're playing this year? I have us at 5 wins, tops. Right now, just looking at the schedule, we play the AFC
I'll bet
West.
you on
That's
that.
4
I'll
losses.
bet you on that, Squabble, right now.
It depends on.
Put your stakes where your mouth is.
I'm not. If we go out and draft a tackle in the first round, and some team overdrafts someone in our division, like, we have a chance to extend on that. But look at who we're playing. At home, we have our division, obviously. Then we have the Falcons, Panthers, Broncos, Raiders, Giants, and Jets. I think we could beat 4 of them. We're probably not going to sweep the Falcons, Panthers, Giants, and Jets. We're going to lose one of those games just because all of those teams are in the same ballpark that we are. On the road, we have, outside of our division, the Saints, Buccaneers, Chiefs, Chargers, and Lions. So I think at most we're winning at the Saints and at the Lions, and that's a stretch. So I think there's a chance we win 1 game on the road. At home, it's that bad right now. I don't think we're going to beat any of our division rivals more than once, if that. I honestly could see us going 0-6 in division this year. I think San Francisco was afraid of Russell Wilson, and that was the reason that we always beat them. That's why ever since Russell Wilson got here, we've had a great record against them. I don't think we're going to have a great year this year. I'm predicting 5 wins as of today.
But Squab, hold on. The Jets beat the Bengals actually in the regular season. The Jets also beat the Titans. And this is the regular season we're talking about. Like, upsets are going to happen. Teams are going to overachieve. Teams are going to win games they have no business of winning. When you look at the culture, when you look at, all the – we don't have a whole bunch of stars, but when you look at how hard these guys play for Coach P, he is a player's coach. You don't think we're going to have any shot at winning games we have no business of winning, like the Jets from last year?
I'm not saying we don't have a chance. Stacey, you raise a good point. There's a chance we could go out and just upset the Buccaneers at Tampa. Why not, right? But here's the thing.
Bruce Arians isn't coaching there anymore, so
Drew
might have the Todd Bowles. For them. He's going to be the new head coach.
Tom Brady's running the offense now, and that's what it's about. No, see, my concern when you look at the schedule, Drew Lock sucked in Denver. Now he comes here, and everyone here is disappointed about him. Find me one Seahawks fan that's more excited about having Drew Lock than they were about Russell Wilson. Daniel, having Drew than Russell Wilson. Daniel, stop playing.
Look, Drew Lock can throw down the middle of the field, and he's going to cost $30 million less. And he wants to be here. He wants to be here. He wants to be here. I'd rather have someone that wants to be here. He doesn't want to be here than wants to get traded. Russell
he had no choice.
You know
they
what?
quizzed him on how many Washington cities he knows.
I saw that.
Traded here
like 3 or 4.
Missouri. How many towns do you know in Missouri, bro?
I don't want to be there.
That doesn't mean you don't want to be there. If you went to Missouri, you'd be like, man, I kind of like the humidity. There's actually sunshine here. Maybe you'd like it.
I don't care if Drew Lock doesn't know how to spell Puyallup or Kent for that matter, as long as he could throw a screen pass, hit the slant, hit the check down, and don't throw as many interceptions as touchdowns. If he could do that, I think we could be a 500 team or better.
Indeed. Who we beating, Norb? Who we beating?
We're not gonna go 0-6 in the division. Come on. We're going to get at least 1 or 2 of those. We might lose. We might get swept by the Rams. We're going to get one against the Cardinals. Come on. They don't have Chandler Jones anymore.
True.
No AJ Green.
They got issues over there.
Yep.
Christian Kirk's gone. He started this whole sweepstakes receivers salary thing, by the way. Rams, that's going to suck. I don't care how we look at it. That's a problem. Niners. Who they got at quarterback? They're talking about that Jimmy Garoppolo might be coming back at quarterback again. Didn't see that coming. They're all thinking they're getting Tom Brady this year. So
they didn't want him.
You know, a lot of it has to do with you guys haven't talked about it at all yet, but I'm really concerned about our running game. I got excited when Rashad Penny came back. Obviously, he could have taken more money supposedly from somewhere else. He came back for a 1 year deal with the Seahawks. But Chris Carson, I'm talking about both sides of my mouth because I read something about what Pete Carroll said about Chris Carson. It didn't sound very confident about Chris Carson being able to play because Pete Carroll always is super optimistic, and then when he talked about Chris Carson, it had sort of sounded like, well, we think he'll be good to something like, well, we think he'll be good to go, and that sounds very negative for how normally Pete Carroll is. So I'm concerned about Chris Carson even being able to go. So if that's the case, then all we got is Rashad Penny going off of a 1 month of awesome play and 3 years of mostly being on the sideline. So I'm nervous that if he goes down and Chris Carson isn't available, we're back to that same problem that we've had for like the last 2 years where we have no healthy running back. And if we don't have that, and we don't have a quarterback who's like a franchise quarterback, well, what do we have on offense? That's what scares me right now. The draft. We're gonna have to. Nobody's talking about drafting a running back yet. We were talking about offensive tackles, and we've been talking about lower tier quarterbacks, and we still need edge rushers. So we got a lot of pieces still missing here, to fill in obvious holes. But that's what I'm a little concerned about. We need that running back. We need the running game to, like when Russ first came in, we had a running game that he could fall back on to make his job a lot easier. So who's going to be back there stable, keeping the running game going?
Maybe we trade for a Saquon Barkley.
That's another injury-prone running back.
Injury-prone back.
And just about the quarterback, Wilson to Lock is walking into Krispy Kreme and getting a Safeway donut. Like that's what it feels like. Like this is such a disappointment.
Hey, some of those Safeway donuts are pretty good, man. When you're hungry enough,
pretty good.
But not if you're expecting Krispy Kreme. Let's not put them in the same breath, shall we? Like that, those are a big step apart.
Well, if you're getting just on pure glazed donuts, Krispy Kreme has them hands down. But if you start getting the assorted ones, you can actually kind of mix it too. And I bet you could put one in there and you wouldn't know the difference. I bet I could swap out some Safeway donuts and you'd be eating them going, yeah, these Krispy Kremes are really good. It's like, aha! I put like 4 Safeways in there. You didn't even know it.
I will bet you a dozen donuts that I can tell the difference if you put 2 in front of me.
Wait, 2? I said the whole box because if you had like a dozen, and you mix it like 3 or 4, I bet you'd not be able to. You'd miss a few. You would not be able to spot the fakes.
Maybe out of a dozen. I don't know. If you give me 2 right next to each other, I could tell them apart.
Well, that's too easy if you go side by side. You got to kind of get lost in the shuffle. That's the key. Mass confusion. You know what I mean? All right. Okay, so I'm thinking that we could be just above 500. I think we can get to 9 wins. I think we can do it. Wow. I think we could do it. I don't know how. There's a lot of ifs, ands, and buts there, but I'm assuming they're going to fix a lot of the issues that we have. Okay, so just on a random side, because obviously we have a vested interest in what's going on. I guess Daniel had to go. A vested interest in what happens to the Broncos, not just because Russell Wilson's there, but because whatever they do affects what that first round draft pick becomes in 2023. What is the win-loss record for the Broncos next year? We know what they got, and we know what quarterback's going there. What we don't know is how good is Russell Wilson going to be. So what do you guys think is going to be the Broncos record next year? Squabs, you can go.
What? Oh my gosh. Just like Krispy Kreme and Safeway Donuts don't belong in the same breath, the Broncos record and the Seahawks record next year don't belong in the same breath. The Broncos, I am so close. I might pick them to win their division. I might pick them to win their division, go like 12-5, something crazy, right? Where they're just on top of everything. I do need to look at their schedule. So I want to pull that up real quick before I can make, the most Broncos 22 opponents. But right now,
while you're doing that, I'm going to go just off of gut feel with Steve. Or are you ready to just make your argument?
No, just right now, I'd say 12-5 before I look.
Wow. And one of those wins will be against the Seahawks, of course.
Yeah.
Right?
You could say that.
We'll have to talk about the score over under on that one too. By the way, it's when we get closer. But okay, 12-5. Damn, that's not a good draft pick. Steez.
For me,
tell me the Chiefs and the Raiders with Devontae Adams could find some way to knock the Broncos down a few pegs, and that the Chargers and Justin Herbert are gonna tear it up and completely wreak havoc on the Broncos schedule.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, not even just the AFC West. You look at the entire AFC in general. The AFC North is going to be a problem. The AFC East now with Miami being a threat, and then the AFC South, Colts and the Titans going to be solid teams. I think for me, I'm going to go with 11-6. And this was actually one of the arguments that I made when Russell was traded to the Broncos. One of the reasons why I wasn't in love with the trade compensation was because I predicted Denver would finish with 10+ wins. And so with the record of 10+ wins, you're getting the first round pick in the mid to late 20s, potentially early 30s, depending on how far they go in the playoffs. And so I kind of looked at that trade as 1 first rounder and then 3 high second rounders. And so that's why I felt like Seattle didn't get nearly enough compensation. That's neither here nor there. Again, I think 11-6 is the most realistic with the ceiling of, I'll go with Squab's record, a ceiling of 12-5, but right now I'd go 11-6 if I had to put money on it.
Yeah. Palmyra Productions, Super Chat. Both running backs can't stay healthy more than 3 games. Yeah, that's kind of my concern there. I'm hoping they'll do something that they haven't done and be healthy like all year long, because that was what's supposed to happen last year. Maybe we'll get the 2-headed monster that we didn't get last year, and we'll look totally different, because they really were planning this offense with Chris Carson and Rashad Penny being the dynamic duo, and we never saw that happen. It never happened. And that's a big reason why we ended up 7-10. So you put those 2 guys together and they can stay on the field, I think it makes it easy on no matter who's a quarterback. So that's a big if, right? So my prediction on the Seattle going above 500 is predicated on the fact that both those running backs are going to be on the field for most of the season as opposed to what it's been. Now, if they don't, well, we're screwed. Then I'm back to Squabo land in terms of the prediction. Russell Wilson and Broncos, I really don't like the sound of 12-5. That sounds like them winning the division. I want KC to win it just because somebody's got to win it. They seem to be the one best in position. But then once they lost Tyreek Hill, it's like, God dang it. That's like us losing Tyler Lockett, the best receiver who's the game changer, being gone. So all of a sudden it's like, well, at least Devontae Adams is at the Raiders. I'm going to go 11-6 on this one. I fear that the 12-win thing is very realistic, but I'm hoping it's less than that and the Chiefs or somebody else knocks them down a peg. But Doggone it. I really want them to suck this year.
They're not going to do it. They're going to disappoint you, Norb. And I have a horse in this race. Steez, you know all about it. I got a bet that says the Chiefs are not going to win the AFC West. And it's a 2-1 bet. So if the Chiefs win, I owe my guy Emmett 2 stakes. And if anyone else wins, it's 1 stake to me. And so I think Denver, I think the Chargers might beat them. Honestly, they could be 4th in division because the Raiders are going to be a really good team that people are sleeping on. Now you got Juju Smith-Slowster alongside whoever else is in their receiving core now that Tyreek Hill is gone. So I don't think the Chiefs are going to be all that this year.
Damn, they still got Mahomes though.
After looking at their schedule, you could make that case about Green Bay, but no one thinks they're a Super Bowl contender this year either. And
not without Devontae Adams.
Not without Tyreek Hill.
I know. It's like those two, without those weapons, those quarterbacks are going to be reduced to what they are, you know? So, all right. Well, Steve's dropped off. I don't know if his phone just disappeared on it, but there he is. Anyway, so I know you guys got things we got to do. I want to wrap things up. I want to give you guys a chance to, share your platforms because you guys got a lot of great stuff. And Squabs, congratulations, by the way. Tell people about the new job opportunity that you got. I saw your post, commented on it. I think it's awesome, man. So tell people about what you got going on, and then Steve's can do the same thing. So Squabo says, tell everybody about you.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Hey, bless up. One thing I did want to say just about you, Norb, was that like me and my family, like we've been fans of you for years. And we have been watching you and just the joy you bring to the Seattle fan base. And like how you are literally the embodiment of our fan base, this optimistic, happy, supportive, a great person. You are a spectacular person. This offseason has impacted you so much. And we see it. Like I'm sure the fans at home, we see how like you're streaming your walk talks and you're talking about, well, maybe this isn't the end of the world for Seattle, like trying to find optimism somewhere. And I just wanted to say, Norb, I love you. We love you. We are here for you. If you ever need to talk, like even outside of stream, like, you can reach out to me. So we love and we care about you, bro. Like you mean so much to this organization. You mean more than any of those players do right now. And so I seriously, thank you so much for everything that you do. And then Steezy,
thank you, man.
You've been supportive and you're just a ride or die brother. Like you have been everything that like I stopped by Seattle on the way back from Vegas, and he was my one call, the one person, and he was there to pick me up and to be there. We had a great conversation, got to spend some time together. So these two people right here mean the world to me, and it would mean everything to me and to them if you would subscribe. This is us all chasing our passions and chasing our goals. So it's free to subscribe. By doing so, you're showing us that you support that. So please, please, please subscribe.
Well said, man.
Preach.
I'm very thankful for the opportunity that I have to have an internship with KHQ Spokane. And so it's a sports and news internship. It's the local TV station in Spokane, Washington. It's going to start on May 12th, and I'm going to be in there 2 days out of the week. I'm going to be working with the sports team and the morning show. I'm planning on going and job shadowing the morning show in a few weeks here. And I already job shadowed some of the news reporters. It's going to be an opportunity for me to work on the sports side of things and the news side of things. I'm set to graduate this December if everything works out right. And after that, hopefully I can get a job on TV somewhere. But this is an opportunity for me to build on my resume reel, use professional equipment, use a professional cameraman, learn exactly their editing techniques and all that stuff. I've already been sending them a lot of the work that I've been doing on my channel and having them like critique it and tell me how it can improve. And it's only going to get better from here. So it's an opportunity to get in the building, to show them why I belong there, and to work my ass off, to be frank.
I love it, man. No, it's great. You've done so many things with your experience over there at Wazoo, being able to cover the NCAA women's. It was a women's championship, right? That you were covering when you were down there in Vegas, and then all the different things that you've been doing. It's been fun to see. Volleyball, even of all sports, man. That's my game, my girls' game. That's awesome that you got to even call some of that. So that's fantastic. So again, these guys, both their links in the description. So make sure you check on them, give them a sub. And Steezy, man, you're constantly just working it. You know, your collabs. You know, you got Michael Bumpus in there. What? So it's great, man. It's great, man. I love your takes. You're so thorough on your analysis and everything like that. So that's why I love the fact that, you know, when you come on here and you bring your expertise, because you know so much about your research. So, but tell everybody what you got coming up. You know, what videos they can look forward to when they hop on your channel, man.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to say, you know, Squab, I haven't had a chance to even, you know, call you, bro, and I apologize. But I just wanted to say congratulations, you know, live. You know, like I told you, you know, your time is now. You know what I mean? And I'm honestly not surprised in the slightest. As soon as you graduate this coming December, expect a whole bunch of jobs to line up, you know, asking for your services. You're going to have a line for your services. So expect that. But I'm beyond proud, bro. I mean, I can't say that I've been here for the entire journey, but I can't say that I've been here for, I feel like, a good chunk, you know, of your journey. For me, just to be a part of it, and just to be alongside of you, you know, supporting in your corner, seeing you win, you know, that means everything to me. And it's igniting the fire in me. You know, I like to think that, man, you know, I gotta work even harder. You know what I mean? It's at the end of the day, it's still, I'm not looking at it as competition, but it's just as motivation, right? And so, you know, I'm happy for you, my brother. I know you're going to do great things. And like I said, this is expected. So, you know, just another check mark, another box that you're checking off. And I can't wait to see what you make of that job. I mean, pretty soon it won't even be an internship. You know, after the internship, they're going to like you so much that they won't really have a choice but to keep you on. But then again, you're going to have other suitors lining up for your services. So you're going to have options to choose from, plenty of fish in the sea. But I have no doubt you're going to do great things, my brother. So keep on going. Never stop. And the Norb, like Squabo was saying, I want to piggyback off what he was saying. You're one of the voices of the Seahawks. You know what I mean? I remember when Squab and I first started hopping on your streams, on your channels, people were always coming up to me saying like, oh, you got to work with Norbcam. You got to work with Norbcam. And before, you know, we really got to know you and before we really got to work with you, I wasn't really tuned in, you know, and I've told you that before. And so to have so many different, you know, people that I went to school with, people that I know, coworkers and whatnot, people I come across, for them to know me because of you, for them to know Squabo because of you, we know that, you know, you're an icon, you know, you're a local celebrity, you're a local legend, you know what I mean? So you're one of the voices of the Seahawks. And so, you know, we're right here with you. We're right here to grieve with you. And we're here to continue to watch you grow. And so to everyone out there, please, as Squabo says, at Norbcam, if you aren't already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. For me, I will have another special guest on my channel real soon. For those of you guys that read The Athletic, Michael Sean Duger, who actually had the wonderful opportunity to hang out with, he's going to be on the show sometime soon. So I don't know if you guys read his work. I don't know if you listen to his Man to Man podcast. But just to, man, and
he's great.
Just real quick, I just want to clarify. This wasn't me coming across him at a bar. He actually DM'd me, inviting me to the bar. And so I'm not saying that to toot my own horn. I'm not trying to brag, but I just kind of wanted to put that across because I've had some people saying like, oh, you just came across him at a bar. You know what I mean? Like, that's not very special. Anyone could do that. But I'm just here to say that, no, he hit me up. And so that was just special. That was surreal.
Cool.
You know, be able to share drinks and hang out with him, kind of get some, you know, insiders perspective and whatnot. That was real cool. So expect him on the show. Expect Bumpus back on the show. And I actually want to have a show with all you guys, with both of you guys, and then Bumpus, and then Duger, and then whoever else. So expect that. I did just drop my take on the whole DK situation. Like Norb said, I also dropped my take on the Baker Mayfield situation. Expect the live stream hopefully by this weekend, if not early next week. And that's it for me, y'all. Thank you.
All right. I got a couple of guys who've been hanging out in the green room, the digital green room, and I only want to say hi. So I'd be remiss if I didn't give them that opportunity. So my loyal fan who's been there all the time, I got to bring Tyler Parcher. He's got his headphones all hooked up, and I know he wants to say hi to the fellas. So Tyler,
hey,
what's up, Tyler?
Hey.
Got his Seahawks jersey on.
Tyler,
you're with the crew, man. Can you hear us, man?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Tyler,
You hear me okay?
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry I had to leave. I was on my walk.
Oh yeah, no, I'm with you, man. I'm glad you're doing the walk. I'm enjoying it myself too. So,
how many laps today, bro? How many laps?
I did 3, I think.
All right, there you go. Gotta get that
Day
cardio in, man.
I'm gonna be there. Opening night,
Yep.
baby.
I know
All right.
you're excited about that bus ride. That's awesome.
Are any of you guys going to opening night? I know Squab's going to be.
So
You know, I'm
Robbie,
debating if I'm going to. I haven't been to an opening game in a while, so I don't know. I'm
Norm.
thinking about it, but it would be pretty fun. It would be pretty cool.
We'll probably
But yeah.
be hanging out in Edgar's, probably up there during that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But you know, like I said it earlier, MLB on Fox they're picking the Mariners to win the AFC West this year.
I saw that.
And I think they might have jinxed it by just saying that. You know,
AO.
I said it earlier. It's like why is there this rule that when it comes to the Mariners and the Seahawks, they can never be good at the same time? One can be great, the other one has to suck. If the other one is great, the other one sucks, or they can both suck, but they can never be great at the same time. I mean, come on, man. We need a break here. We got no basketball team. The hockey team is, it's fine at its feet. It's going to be one of those patterns again. I hope the baseball. Whoa, let there be light.
Jeez,
jeez. Wow. Okay.
The Mariners are shining down on you.
Oh, it's a sign. It's a sign from above that something great is going to happen, something unexpected, and we will have a great Mariners and Seahawks team somehow.
Tom Brady traded to the Seahawks. Pete Carroll fired immediately after.
Oh my God.
That's what it takes to get rid of our head coach. Please.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Is there gonna be a Madden soon again?
Pretty soon. I don't know if it's. I'm leaving town tomorrow, doing my weekend getaway with the fellas, so it might have to be after the weekend. But I gotta tell you this. I got it. All right, I was trying to remember to do that. I gotta tell you this thing, man. I was doing a Madden. This is like at 2 a.m. I was working late. And I had a moment. Get this. I was playing this guy. He was a Philadelphia Eagles guy, right? I should have recorded the game because I can show you how stupid I was. It was 24-24.
Oh boy.
The Eagles had the ball at midfield with about 2:30 left in the game. And I'm going, oh crap, this guy gets down the field goal range, it's over. And it's 3rd down, he has to convert. He goes for like 3rd and long. I get the interception at midfield. I'm like, all I got to do is get in field goal range, game over. So I start moving down the field. I'm matriculating my way down the field. Run game, short passes, nothing stupid. Let the clock keep running. And he burns all his timeouts. I get to the 1-yard line. 39 seconds left. Okay, you see where this is going, right? But it's not what you think.
Yeah.
So I run. This guy knows I've been running up the middle all day long. So I run a jet sweep to Tyler Lockett. Because we do that in real life, right? Tyler Lockett runs around the side. Now, mind you, he has no timeouts, 39 seconds. I'm at the 1-yard line. Field goal will win the game. I got the clock, everything in my hands. Tyler Lockett takes the jet sweep. And all of a sudden, at the end around, it's wide open. And what do? I stupidly run into the end zone. I should have just sat down at the 1 or lost 2 yards, but no, I got greedy. I had my plan. I got greedy. So I run into the end zone, celebrating the 6 points. I get the extra point, of course, but there's 35 seconds left. No timeouts, right? I screwed up, and I'm going, okay, well, my defense, there's no way I'm going to give up. He's got to go the length of the field to try to tie the game. I go cover 3, 2 plays. It's like 3rd down and forever. He throws this bomb. Jamal Adams beating coverage, Quandre Diggs, the corner's beating coverage. He gets a touchdown with like no time remaining. 7 seconds remaining. Kicks the extra point. We go to overtime. Now, there's new overtime rules, right? But not in Madden 2022.
Or in the regular season.
And it's on the playoffs. So he wins the coin toss. And what happens? He throws the same damn bomb play on me. He gets down to like a 3-yard line, runs it in for a touchdown. I lose. 37-31. When I had the stupid game at the 1-yard line and I ran into the end zone, I was so pissed, and nobody was here to share it with me.
Your 2022 Seahawks, ladies and gentlemen.
So the theme of the message is, don't run a jet sweep to Tyler Lockett. Take the points. Hey, it was terrible. It was a terrible experience. I couldn't believe I'd let that happen.
Dinner last night was burgers, by the way.
All right.
Yeah.
Burger night. I love it. All right, Tyler, I'm gonna bring you off here. I'm real quick because you guys got to go. But Andraw's been hanging in here really tight, a long time. Andra, yo,
what's up?
I see your
Sam
shirt.
Rocket, TJ Freak. I'm right here.
Sam Rock and TJ Freak. What's up, man? We're about to wrap up the show, but I want you to give a chance to say hi to the fellas. So this is Andra from Georgia.
Yeah. How you doing, all?
What's up, bro?
Yeah, doing great,
nice to
man.
meet
Can you hear me
you.
all right, guys?
Appreciate you watching. Yeah.
Yeah, and Squabbo, congratulations, your job, right?
Internship.
Good job.
Hey,
Internship.
thank you so much, bro. That means the world. Literally, thank you.
You're very welcome, man. And wait, what's his name with Steezy A. Smith?
Steezy A. Smith.
Okay, I'm sorry, my mouth's like. Hey, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm feeling good, bro. How are you feeling?
Oh, good. Been busy, and plus my nose, man, a little bit. It gets better, but it's from the pollen, Here.
Oh, I've been suffering, man.
allergies.
I've been suffering from allergies. My eyes have been itching. My nose has been running. It's been
Nor's
rough,
a
man.
crier.
That's my excuse anyway. That's my excuse.
But hey, that's Mother Nature, man. That's Mother Nature. They grew with dogwood.
Oh, I know.
trees.
It sucks, man. If you guys don't have allergies, but count your lucky stars if you don't have allergies, man, because having allergies sucks big time. But, Andra, this is a weird thing because, you're moving in slow motion, but your mouth is in full speed. So it's like your body is moving like 10 seconds behind your voice. It's the weirdest thing. Like, hey, Steezy, what's going on? It's the weirdest thing. You're like glitching in the Matrix or something. But hey, anyway, I gotta let these guys go. They got stuff they gotta do and then better things to do than keep hanging on this channel. But anyway, it's good to see you, man. All right, man. All right, you fellas. I appreciate you jumping on here. We talked for a long time, and I always appreciate you guys making time for especially these breaking news things. Who knows what other breaking news we're gonna experience before the draft or after the draft or whatever it might be. But crazy season, man. I'm glad to have you guys to help get me through it and to get all these 12s through it because it's rough, man. I talked to so many people and the emotional range, the feelings about what's left, who's left and who's here, and the future is so uncharted territory. I don't know what to make of the season. It's going to be one we haven't experienced in a long time. So we can get through this thing together with all you guys' help. So anyway, you guys have a great day. Everybody watching, thank you for the support, for the views, and please do subscribe to these fellas. These guys are awesome. Squabbo Says and Steezy A. Smith. These guys are going places. You guys got to jump on while they're still accessible. You can say, I knew them back when he was on North Camp's channel. All right, fellas, appreciate you, man. Nothing but love.
Thank
Always
you.
love.
You guys, I'll have a great day. We'll talk to y'all later.
Go Hawks.
Seahawks.